Hello, everyone, and today I will be reviewing Death Battle Season 7. Not review, but ranking the episodes. I didn't include the sponsored episode, The Boys, because I honestly didn't want to. I will say, though, that the more I watch it, the more I like it. But that's kind of it. It would have been... let's see, where would it have been? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It would have been 10th. It would have been 10th place if I included it. So, oh yeah, one more thing. My opinions are stupid, and I'm stupid, so if your opinions are completely different than mine, go ahead and get mad at me in the comments or whatever. It's fine. Hopefully I'll have some correct opinions. Anyways, let's just get the fuck on with it. The worst fight this season was definitely Black Canary versus Sindel. It felt boring in the analysis and everything, at least to me. Also, I don't like the fight that much. I like the finisher, that's fine. It was nice. It was head stuff. I like head stuff. That's fun. Blood is fun. But the fight itself was just kind of boring to watch. Not as much as something, say, Danny versus Jake, but I also I don't even care about the matchup either, which I guess I just have a little bit of a bias of. Also, the models look fucking atrocious in my opinion. Sindel just looks weird. I don't even know what that's trying to make her look like. MK3? MKX? No, definitely not MKX or 11, because she's a zombie there. And Black Canary, her model is just a reskinned Captain Marvel from Captain Marvel vs. Android 18, I'm pretty sure. Like, that's clearly a reskin right there. Also, the music isn't very good either, in my opinion. It's grown on me a little bit, but not my favorite. Definitely not one of my favorites. I'm sorry, Brandon, but I can't get into it. What else? The voice acting was bad. I mean, well, okay, for Sindel, it was really bad. For Canary, it sounded fine. At least in my opinion. Also, I don't know how she is moving with her legs like that, but it's weird. With the ending, again, I like the finisher, but everything else is kind of just meh about it. The jokes, I like the part where Boomstick goes like, "They did the sex." That was funny to me. But that's kind of it. And the only really thing dialogue-wise that I liked in the fight was right before Sindel chucks Dinah into the sky. That was like the only thing I liked about that. That's really all I have to say about this. And I actually had a hard time picking between this and another fight for it. So, yeah. Danny Phantom versus Jake the Dragon. I forgot his name because I'm an idiot. It has a dragon in it. That's probably the only reason that this isn't at the very bottom of the list. Though I guess there are some other things that make it not the worst. I hate this fight. It's really mainly the dialogue and the voice acting that just ruined the entire fight. Like, the analysis I think I like a lot more. Boomstick singing the songs, despite the fact that that got a DMCA takedown for the fucking thing. Though that was also kind of funny. Yeah, the analysis way more enjoyable than the fight. The dialogue is horrible. There's way too many fucking catchphrases and bullshit. And like, the final one that Danny does just doesn't make sense to me. It's so fucking bad and cringy. Also, Jake's model moves really weirdly. You guys probably see that in post, in the editing. It just looks awful. And I was so pumped for this. Like, it has a fucking anthropomorphic dragon, and as a scaly, that just makes me very happy. But it was really bad, and I just hated every second of the fight. The analysis, again, was fine. I like watching the analysis, or at least listening to it. But the fight itself is so bad that it just drags the entire episode down. I do like how they referenced it in, like, they went back to this location in, what was it? It was Wally West versus Archie Sonic. I think this was the same location in Ben versus Green Lantern, which makes me want to put up the clip, but I don't want to do that because that would require more downloading. But again, everything about this fight is just horrible. The finisher sucks, but I guess it makes sense. The character, the matchup I like. That's a good That's a good matchup. I thought Jake would win, but I just have a dragon bias, so I guess I'm just stupid. The sprites, Danny looks fine. His sprite looks fine, but in motion it just looks fucking awful. Just nothing really that good about this episode other than the analysis. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. It's bad. Sanji versus Rock Lee. I don't know how they fucked this up so badly. It really, I'm not even sure how I put it this low. I guess the other ones that I don't like just got better as I watched them. This one, though, I hate the first part of the fight inside. It goes on for kind of forever, and it's just kind of slow as well. It also wastes a lot of the music track's potential, in my opinion. Like, Full Course Will is one of my favorite tracks by Brandon Yates in general. But, like, the best parts of it, like, you know, the beginning of the track were wasted on this, like, not very exciting just part where they're just talking, really. It just kind of sucks. But then when they get outside, it's a lot better, but still not one of my favorites. The fight's still one of my least favorites for, well, a few reasons, and I should probably do that. But me doing this on the fly is a lot harder. The jokes and the analysis, the only thing I really liked was when Boomstick did, like, the drunk boxing. He's really the main source of comedy. I don't mind the whole slapstick thing. It helps when there's, like, actual animated characters. I think the dialogue in this episode was also really bad. Like, the entirety of the first bit just sucked. Rock Lee's lines are just, for the most part, really bad. Like, when he says, "Why is everything so loud?" It just sounds so... That's, like, the weirdest line delivery I've ever heard in pretty much fucking anything, and I hate it. And so many of his lines just feel forced. Sanji sounds fine, and both of the actors do sound pretty good as the characters. I'm stuttering a lot because I'm an idiot. Yeah, there's a few good things about these fights, not a lot, and I think every fight, including this one and after it, are still decent episodes. They're just not great. I think the ones starting to get good are when I get to Miles versus Static. That's when the episodes start getting a lot better in my eyes. Again, the music is great. It's just the potential for it was kind of wasted here, and the ending, I don't like the line. I don't like Sanji's line right before he kills Lee. It sounds really stupid, and I can't help it. The animation looks fine. The models have some weird stretch issues, but it's fine. The hand-drawn stuff looks decent, except for that right there. But yeah, I do like the part where it goes like the end at the very end of it. But overall, I think this is just a not very good episode, but not the worst. Probably a lot of people are probably gonna put it in like the top 10 just because lol. But yeah, on to the next one, I guess. Batgirl versus Spider-Gwen. Again, I think this is also a fine episode. I think it's really just the fight and the analysis have some problems that make it not as enjoyable to watch for me. There was nothing funny about the analysis. And for once I didn't really care about learning about a character. Usually in the Marvel vs. DC fights, the thing that gets me around it being a Marvel vs. DC fight is that I enjoy learning about the characters. I definitely love learning about Spider-Gwen. That was nice, but Batgirl's is kind of boring to learn about, and I'm not really sure why. The fight was SFM, and I think the SFM is, not great, actually. I think Batgirl looks really bad in motion, and I think Spider-Gwen just looks okay. The SFM team, I think, probably should have gotten at least a little bit more time, maybe like a day or two. It's not the worst thing ever, but it's not great. The dialogue is also a little wonky, but I don't mind it that much. I don't know. I think it's at least a little bit natural. I'd probably have this fucking dialogue if I met someone in real life. Just anyone ever. The music is mediocre, but it grew on me a little bit while rewatching the episode for this ranking. To be honest, it's definitely not one of my favorite tracks, but I don't know. I like it. I don't hate it. I don't dislike it. It's good. The ending, I like the ending. That's probably the best part about this. I like how it just seems that Spider-Gwen's like over fucking powered against her, which, I mean, it kind of seems like that's the case. And I liked the Venom claws there. That just looked badass to me. So overall, yeah, it's fine. It's a fine episode. The analysis was kind of boring, even on Spider-Gwen's part, and the fight was really just mediocre overall. But I think it's fine enough. It's probably gonna get in like number 13 or 12 on everyone else's lists, because I am deciding not to watch everybody else's lists, so that my opinions don't get swayed. Really wish I could watch those right now. Look at that, a live action fight. That's pretty cool. This is one that I like, but I feel like most people probably won't like, and that's a little bit why it's low. But I do have my genuine problems with it because I'm trying not to be biased. First of all, I'm just gonna get this out of the way. The finisher is fucking awful in my opinion. It just doesn't even look like it's a kill. It just looks like he broke his fucking helmet and that's it. Doesn't look bloody or anything. I'm pretty sure there was some CG blood as well, which just made it even worse. I think the first part of the fight with like the stealth I actually like that part. That's one of my favorite parts about the fight. I like the build up, even though a lot of people will probably say, oh, it took too long to get to the fight. And the fight does have some good pacing in my opinion. It feels like how it would play out in real life. I do think the part where the Joker comes in, like, as a voice cameo was weird, but I don't watch Marvel or DC, so I'm probably not the right person to say anything about that. And that's another thing. It's another Marvel vs. DC matchup. But this might be the only time where I didn't mind that. Because these characters don't seem like they're from Marvel or DC, in my opinion. They seem like low-grade anime characters, almost. Okay, not really. That's a joke. I mean like from like some sort of like live-action show. They don't feel like they're from comics, in my opinion. Okay, oh yeah, other things about the fight. I actually have to say things about it, don't I? Well, let me just drag this on a little bit while I look through my notes, because I am doing this live. Not really. Fuck you. Again, I like the matchup. I thought it was nice. I like the fight as well. It's good, but it does have problems. Like, Winter Soldier just sounds so fucking whiny at times when he's getting beat up. It sounds so weird. And, like, the lines before the fight actually starts sound really weird, like when Jason's talking to Bruce, Jason being Red Hood. If you're not a Marvel DC fan like I am, I just know that because his name is Jason Todd. I also loved learning about both characters, I will admit, especially Red Hood. This character makes me want to be a Marvel or DC fan, really a DC fan, I guess. And that's another thing I like about Marvel DC. Anyways, the dialogue I think was fine aside from the beginning of it. It sounded natural, but also a little weird. The models, or the people doing it, don't really know what to say about that because it's a live action fight, but I don't know, it was good. I think it's funny that like right here when Jason just kind of like does, when he just like takes the super serum, nothing really happens to him, but I do like the way they sold it because I thought something happened to his costume. It looked like something happened, but in reality, nothing happened. Also, Winter Soldier looks like fucking Jeff Aber, aka Space Hamster, to me, and I just think that's fucking hysterical. And then I remember that Space Hamster was actually in a death battle. He played the Blue Ranger in Power Rangers vs. Voltron. And then I remember that PBG was in there, and I remember Peebs fucking died, and then I'm just sad. So thank you for reminding me that one of my favorite YouTubers basically canonically dies in a death battle. That just makes me sad. Oh, yeah, the music. It's not a Brad Yates or Theirwolf track, so I didn't like it that much. But it really fit the fight at the very least, so I can't really say it's bad. And again, the ending is just not very good. Like, yeah, it took me a while to remember that, yeah, his gun explodes. But this right here, the finisher, that's fucking awful. That's kind of all I have to say about it. But it was a fine episode, just not one of my favorites due to some minor problems here and there. Alright, this is going to be the opinion that everybody is going to get pissed off at me about for not having it be the worst one, or probably even like 8 or 19. Zuko versus Todoroki. I think one of the reasons that I don't hate this matchup is because of the matchup itself. Like, I fucking love My Hero Academia. That's one of the 5 or 6 anime I've actually fucking watched. I don't know anything about Airbender. I thought this kid would have a way deeper voice from seeing him, to be perfectly honest. He sounds weird. But I love Todoroki. And I actually and after watching Death Battle, I actually started watching the rest of season 2 and 3 of the anime. So I may have a little bit of bias. Also, it's the end of the fight that just brings it back to me. But I'll talk about that in a little bit. I think the reasons why everyone hates this fight is because, one, the animation is not good. Like, it's not good. It's bad. It's pretty fucking bad. Todoroki's sprite is god-awful in motion. It's like almost as bad as Jake Long's sprite. It's just, it looks weird. Also, the way Todoroki's hair moves when in like the hand-drawn parts, his hair is a 3D model, but the rest of him is hand-drawn or something. I don't understand that decision. And it looks weird when he wins. I think the fight is decently paced, that's good, and his sprite doesn't look nearly as bad as Todoroki. And speaking of Zuko, his voice, again, just sounds weird, but that's not really a problem. It makes his line delivery sound really cringy to me, especially near the end. And also, this is a problem that I just realized now. That's not really much of a problem. Todoroki it's like it's one side for Todoroki, but that's just me being biased. But, okay, now I want to talk about the ending. I fucking love it. The moment Todoroki goes serious, it's like one of the best things I've seen in a while. Like, ending-wise. Like, this shit is good. The music just fucking bumps up and just gets amped all to hell. It's great. And that's the only really part I like about the music as well. But yeah, the ending of this fight is great, and that's the only thing that elevates it to not be the worst in the series. Or in the season, I mean. Also, I just really fucking like Todoroki. He's a cool guy. And I showed this to my neighbor, and she was so sad that Zuko died. So, yeah, get fucked. This is kind of an anomaly at times. I want to get this out of the way that this is where the sprites started to get really bad quality. The stretching on the sprites with Esdeath sometimes look weird. There's a couple times where they don't stretch where they probably should. It looks so fucking bad. Other than that, the animation's great. Animation's really good in my opinion, which is the reason why it's so high. Higher than most people probably put it. I also don't know these characters very well, so I did like learning about them, not as much as like the Marvel vs. DC characters, because I don't fucking know. The music's great. People shit on Lost Ice Storms like so much, and I don't understand why. It's a great track. I don't really think it fits the fight, and that's probably why, but as a standalone track, I can jam to that shit. It's great. Anyways, other things about the fight. Esdeath sounds fine, Gray sounds fine, they both sound fine. Some of the animation looks bad, mainly but it's really just the sprites. Mainly Esdeath's sprite. That's kind of the only big animation, like, bad thing I can say, fuck. But there are some things that are problem. Like, again, this is one of the things I'm talking about, right here. Yeah, that just looks fucking awful. It just looks bad. But the jokes weren't very good in the analysis. I think Boomstick just getting oh yes, I want to fuck this crazy chick. That's meh, but I still thought I still chuckled at it because I'm stupid and I don't know how to do proper jokes. Dialogue was fine, not great, but it was fine. A little bit better than mediocre, aka it's decent. It's not horrible. Gray's a man. He does things. As Death is crazy. It sounds good. The ending is my favorite part, like with another fight. I forgot its name already. Oh, yeah, Zuko vs. Todoroki. The ending is my favorite part of the fight, like when they do the sword fight. I fucking love sword fights. They're the best thing ever to me. And just the absolute insanity in Esdeath's character is just fucking amazing here. Like, whoever voice acted her, oh my god, that is amazing. My brain wants me to say that it's fucking Amelie, which would even be more amazing. My grammar kind of just like shot out there for a little bit. I'm not smart. I'm trying to talk over the whole fight. I'm watching it as I talk. I'm distracted. But yeah, the fight's good. I like the fight. I wouldn't watch it like over and over again, but the whole thing is decent. The episode's decent. It's just there's some problems that make me not want to watch it like every day, like with a couple fights. But yeah, that's all about this one. Hey, look at that. We're finally getting to the ones that I actually really like, or at least decently like. This one I thought would be a lot higher for me, but after watching it and then watching like every single episode of the season, Miles Morales vs. Static Shock, it's good. I like it. I think it's a good way to start off the season, despite being a Marvel vs. DC fight. But I do find some problems. I know I said Gray vs. Desert is where the sprite stuff starts to get bad, and that's true. The sprites here are nowhere near as bad as that. In fact, I actually like when they stretch here. It feels right. Also, the music is one of my favorite tracks just in anything. JT music is fucking great, and it's a Brandon Yates track as well. Omega Sparks, I think was the other person. No, wait, Swats. Oh my god, it's great. Both characters sound pretty good, though I think that's probably the thing I like the least about the fight. No, it's the ending. Definitely the ending, but I'll get to that in a minute. The voice acting is fine, I just don't really care too much for the voices, and I'm not 100% sure why. Dialogue also is a little weird at times, but I don't know. It's not like it's bad. I think the episode is still, good. I think the highlight of the analysis was when the whole multiverse thing, which was fucking great in my opinion. Not the best thing ever, but it was great. The matchup, I like the matchup. It's kind of unique. It's like multi-dimensional characters that used to be part of one thing and now they're part of other things. Static is a weird character to think of, and honestly I just kind of like him because he doesn't, he's not a DC character pretty much. He's I don't know. He's a DC character, but he didn't originally get to be a DC character, so I don't really mind that. The sprites, again, they look fine. I like them. The music's great, the voice acting's decent, and the dialogue is meh. A lot of things about this, it's really more of like a middle of the road fight and analysis. It's a middle of the road episode, but I think it's a decent one to start off with. The ending is the thing I have the most trouble with, because it kind of just happens, really. I felt like, oh wait, the fight's over? What? That didn't feel, that just felt like a normal problem there. That didn't really feel like an ending. Also doesn't really line up with the music, and that's the thing that confuses me the most. I don't know, the ending just doesn't feel good to me. It feels a little dumb. I guess it shouldn't. It is thematic, I guess, but I don't know. It felt like it just ended. It felt a little short. That's kind of it. I'm not really 100% sure where to begin with this, but I think some of the problems I have with the fight actually help with the episode itself. I think it's because like some of the things I don't like about the episode actually kind of just fit with the fight itself. Like the sprite things with Krona. Honestly, I think it just kind of fits the character. Just these like weird jagged movements. Not jagged really, but like I don't know. I feel like I can excuse a few things for this fight solely because of what the matchup is. And it just feels like that's what the matchup would be like. Like when Krona swings her sword, it feels kind of weird, except for the part where she fucking spins in the air. That's just kind of stupid. Should put a fucking Vinny Spin sound effect there or something. That would be funny. The dialogue is fine. I like how these two banter. It's not really banter. I like how Venom's just here with his amazing line deliveries, in my opinion. And then there's just Krona here going like, I don't wanna be alone. Somebody help me. And it's just kind of funny to me. But in the way that it shouldn't be funny, but I still like it. The fight itself, I enjoyed a lot more rewatching it than I did the first time, in my opinion. In fact, I did a reaction video to this. I'm not gonna put a card or anything up on the screen, because I don't know how the fuck to do that. I'm an idiot. I only have 127 subscribers. Fuck you. Again, the sprites look fine, the dialogue's fine. The music is one of my least favorite tracks, but it's another case where I'm liking it more as I listen to it, so one day my opinion might change on that. And also, I do want to say that I love the fucking reference to Lucy versus Carnage at the end. Like, when Krona mimics the last words of Carnage before he dies in that episode, before she kills Venom. I think that was great! No one else is gonna like that, but I like it. And the more I look at it, I actually don't really mind Krona's sprite stuff as much, just normally. Of course, it fits the character. That's why it's like that. It's fine. I'm not the biggest fan of the fight in general, but it's fine. That's really it. The reason why I put this higher above Miles vs. Static, a fight that I genuinely like, is because I'm not sure. Maybe it's because the fight isn't bad. I don't know why I put this above Miles vs. Static. I think I like that fight more. It just seems like this should be where it is. Oh wait, no, it's the dialogue. That's what it is. It's because the dialogue and the voice acting are fucking great in my opinion. Especially the voice acting. It's great. So that's probably why. And the fight is still good. A lot of things are good about this fight. There's not really that much wrong with it. It's just me being me. Also, shoutouts to my friend Lightning for being a Soul Eater fan, I guess. I just wanted to get that in there at the end. To be perfectly honest, I don't hate this fight as much as everyone else does. I do not like it because of some problems with it, obviously. But I don't think it's like one of the worst ones as a lot of people say it is. For one thing, the animation is honestly nowhere near as janky as some of the other animations in the season, but it's not great. The dialogue is weird. The voice acting, I think, is fine. I'm not 100% sure why people hate this episode as much as they do. I mean, I know why, because the problems I'm saying are minor. They're probably extremely fucking bad, and I'm just, stupid. I like the ending, kind of. I didn't know much about the characters and how they really worked, though I do think that getting Wonder Woman's bracelets broken was... didn't the analysis say that was impossible? I've heard from, Biffweed, when I was watching, like 2 segments of his video, that's, like, extremely wrong, that the finisher is really weak for their powers. I think it looks thematic in my mind. But then again, I'm just some fucking baby who doesn't know how to do these things. My first ranked video, after all. I like the fight. I think it looks nice. But, like thematic-wise. But I will say the episode did feel like filler content. It kind of came out of nowhere, in my opinion, and it just ended. Just kind of came and left. Wasn't really much of an impact, but I think it doesn't deserve to be, like, one of the worst episodes. I actually had this in the top 10, and then I realized that, yeah, some of the points that other people made are definitely true. I guess it's just a personal preference of me not hating it. So, the music is fine. Probably my least favorite of the season, since the Canary vs. Sindel one grew on me. But yeah, there's not like much good about it, but I still enjoy watching it, and the analysis was fine. That's kind of it. So, yeah, it just kind of felt like filler, to be perfectly honest. That's the main problem I have with it. There are two ways that this opinion is going to go down. Either A, people get pissed off at me for not putting it higher because it's the season finale, or most likely B, people are going to get pissed off at me for not putting it lower due to the problems everyone has with this. First of all being the animation not looking like anything really lands. Like, most of Hulk's attacks just don't look like they have any impact in my opinion, especially at the beginning. I like the beginning of the fight, like with Hulk petting a deer, not Hulk, Broly petting a deer, that's adorable to me. And basically just getting pissed off about scaring the boy, I like that. That's a character that I like, and it makes me want to watch Dragon Ball specifically for this character alone. Also, every time he does like the part that ends the trailer for it, you know, which is like the plant poster thing on the ground that ends the sneak peek, I always think the screen's going to fade away because I'm so used to watching the sneak peek. I think the episode's a good episode. Like, the analysis was fun to listen to, in my opinion, or at least it was enjoyable to listen to, like, learn about Broly. Don't give a fuck about Broly. The problems I think people have with this is, one, it feels really one-sided to the point where it feels like a spite matchup or something, at least to me. People say like the song Ikari, which is like my second favorite track from this entire season. Like it's just that good. People say it's like one-sided and it only has things from Broly in it, like nothing to do with the Hulk. And you know, when I looked at it because of this, I could actually see that. Like, that actually kind of makes sense. The other problem again is the animation looking not great at times. I think the models look fine. They look decent in motion. It's not I don't think this is an SFM fight, and I think that's a good thing, because the SFM fights this season were kind of shit. Aside from, like, one, I guess. I think the dialogue is a little weird at times, but I think it's better more than it's not. Again, I love the beginning of the fight, where Hulk he's like, oh yes, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Just like, show me, fucker. Which, that's fucking badass to me. The whole fight is good in my opinion. I like watching this. I think the main problem I have with the animation in general is like the beginning of the fight and the ending of the fight. The ending feels just out of nowhere. They just headbutt each other a bunch, the screen basically just dissolves into a green mist and Broly is just there, he won. Even though I'm pretty sure Hulk wins. Oh yeah, that's the thing that that's the reason why people don't like this episode. It's because Broly won, when in reality, he shouldn't have won, and I can see that. Like, Hulk was clearly superior. Like, seriously, I don't understand that. I'm pretty sure Hulk should have won. I mean, I can see why Broly wins, but I don't really understand it completely. The reason why I put this episode so high is because, again, I enjoyed it a lot. I like the things I love about it. I love to death. The reason why it's not higher is because the things I don't like about it are very prevalent. Hey, another SFM fight. Goro vs. Machamp is one that I honestly didn't like at first because the animation looked weird and listening to something just say its own name constantly, it doesn't fit for me. I've grown to like it a bit more, and I think some people probably put this like in their top 5 because the animation's actually not that bad. It's an SFM fight, sure, but it doesn't look bad, especially compared to a couple other SFM fights, aka Batgirl vs. Spider-Gwen. Fuck, what do I even have to say about this fight? I mean, yeah, the choreography is really fucking good. It looks great, and it's like a hand-to-hand combat. The matchup I like. They haven't done something with like 4 arms before. That's cool. It feels weird that Machamp wins because the whole superpower thing, or seismic toss, it doesn't send you to the moon or whatever. I guess maybe that's not what they were going for there. I guess it was really only one certain part of it. Maybe that's not what they were looking for strength, because I think they looked at something else. But it just felt wrong for that to be a thing. What else? Goro sounds fine. He looks fine. The Machamp model's good. There's a lot of good things about this. It's just, I think, just personal preference is getting in the way here, and that freaking and just the Machamp having no dialogue other than his own name is just, it's cringy. It's funny. I don't like it. The music's great. I think it was Their Wolf who did it. I don't think. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was Their Wolf. Their music was good. Their music for this was good. I liked how it was really just a Pokemon theme, which is weird. I know there's probably some Mortal Kombat stuff in there. It's just that Mortal Kombat soundtracks aren't really what the games are known for, so the music wouldn't always be that great. I love the ending of the fight as well, like just the end where they start ripping each other's arms off. Well, Machamp gets one ripped off, and then freaking Goro gets all of his fucking pulled off. That was fucking amazing. Like, the end of the fight is phenomenal in my opinion, and I think that's why it's so high up here, is because that ending just elevates it. And I did like the analysis. The jokes were good in the analysis for the most part. The whole episode was good. It's just really just personal preference that makes me not want to watch it more. The fight was, it was fine. I liked it a lot. It's just the dialogue makes me want to have it on mute, and that I feel like is a massive fucking problem for me. If this is like in your top 5 or whatever, maybe even your favorite, honestly I can see why it would be like someone's personal favorite. I just don't like it as much. That's really it. I'm just stupid. I've seen people put this one a lot lower on lists, like maybe number 11, 12. I think this is like an easy top 10 and contender. I think it's weird that this is the hand-drawn fight, but nothing else. Okay, no, Danny versus Jake should have been the hand-drawn fight. That would have made that fight a lot better to watch. Thing is, I fucking love this matchup. Or not the matchup, I mean the fight. I love the fight. The matchup itself seems a little random and out of nowhere, I will admit. Like, why not regular Iron Man? Why specifically War Machine? I mean, I get it. They're sidekicks who are also heroes. I guess that's the connection, and they're both, one has a suit. I don't understand the connections. That's kind of my main problem with this. The animation does have some weirdness, like when they start like flashing around on screen. I feel that is something that would probably be better as just a sprite thing. But I think everything in this, everything in the animation looks great. But again, there are problems with it. The music is great. Not one of my favorite. Okay, no, it is one of my favorites. It's not, wouldn't like be my top 10, but I like almost every single track in season 7, so not really much to say about that. What else? Fuck. The dialogue was a little, it was like middle of the road, to be perfectly honest. Sometimes it sounded fine, sometimes it sounded bad. Genos, he sounds fine. War Machine sounds, I'm not sure what to say about that. I don't know my feelings on his voice acting there. In this, I'm not sure. What else to say? The models, again, look fine. I think the animation is what sells this fight. I mean, why I have it so high. That, and also, I do like the ending. Not as much as some other fights. I like how War Machine is basically invincible against Genos' his Spiral Helix, I think is what it's called. The massive fucking incinerator thing that he does like 5 times. I like how he's basically just like tickling War Machine, and that's great. And the way they use their like powers to counteract each other, like when Genos does his little glue thing, I think it's what it is. I don't know what it is. From his foot, that was cool. That was cool to see him counteract the camouflage like that. Also, I like learning about these characters, but the main problems are, I think the very last part of the fight was a little weak. Like the actual finisher itself was a little weak. It was because, like, the thing that technically killed Genos was a little weak. It just seemed out of nowhere and sudden, and the actual like just a regular head stomp, and also the analysis was honestly not really that good in my opinion. I think the fight is the only thing that actually elevates this of being a top 10 episode. That's all I really have to say about it, but I do want to say one more thing about the music. It's another Werewolf track. I'm trying to talk throughout the entire fight. So I just gonna put that little factor in there. It's a Werewolf track. Good job, Werewolf. You did a good job. Now I need to get on to the other 7 things. Look at that, it's a War Machine, and it's a Genos. That's a pretty good. I like Geno. Alright, this is another thing I feel people are gonna burn me at the stake for liking so much. Wally West versus Archie Sonic. I like how it's not like regular Flash versus Sonic. I'm probably the only person who thinks that this is a little bit better. I think this is a funny matchup in concept. I mean, like, the fight itself wasn't funny. It was really weird. I want to get this out of the way. I love the finisher of the fight, and that's kind of one of the main things I like, and that's the main thing I like about it. Okay, not the main thing. My brain is telling me that the analysis was some good things. I like when Boomstick does the flash thing, goes that's funny to me. There's just some weird things that are bad about the fight. Like, some of the dialogue is weird. I think the worst part of the fight is when Sonic says, "I've mastered fate." That is both horrible and amazing at the same time for me, just because of how fucking silly it is coming from Sonic the Bloody Hedgehog. I had to use a UK slang term, and I'm American. That's how fucking stupid it is. It's stupidly hilarious, and I both love and hate it at the same time. That's... Otherwise, I think the animation is actually really good here. I think, at least in my opinion, it is. I like how they reference Danny versus Jake. I like the locations as well. I know that it looks really bland, but one of them is the multi-dimensional highway from the Archie comics, I'm pretty sure, and then fucking blue spheres from Sonic 3. I love that. I hate blue spheres, but I love that they... Actually, I think it's supposed to be like the place from the Sonic Adventure cartoon. What was it? The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. You know, the one with all the fetish fuel in it. I remember that show. I like the locations are something that makes me really like the fight, and the fact that Sonic is this kind of character here in the Archie comics, I don't know, it just does something for me that I really like. And I enjoy watching this fight a lot. The beginning of the fight is a little weird with the dialogue. I think the voice acting is pretty good, except for Sonic. I think Sonic sounds really weird, but it's Archie Sonic, so I can't really complain too much. Again, the "you've mastered speed, but I've mastered fate" is just... Oh my god, that's hilarious to me. And that's not a good thing. But I don't hate the fight. I actually really like it. And the music is another one of my favorite tracks by Brandon. Not like in general, like of season 7. And again, the finisher is really good. I like how every version of Sonic was there. Even the fucking Werehog was there, and that made me happy as a Sonic Unleashed fanboy. Despite the fact I like colors more. And just, again, Sonic being this, like, godly, divine creature in the Archie comics. I want to read the Archie comics. I really should have put this thing at least a little lower, I feel like. I think I might be being a little too generous just because of what I like about the fight. But I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm just gonna go put it lower, because I'm gonna stick with my guts and put it here. Hey, you guys like the Star Wars prequels? Those are pretty funny, right? What if we put a prequel character into Death Battle versus a fucking anime character? I have mixed feelings on this fight. I like it more than I don't like it. I think the main problem with it is that a little bit of the animation is god-awful, like when Obi-Wan picks up his lightsaber. Almost it's a sword, isn't it? It's a fucking lightsaber. You can tell I'm not a Star Wars fan, right? Like, I really don't care. I didn't give a fuck about this matchup. The only thing that I really that made me want to watch it was the fact that Kakashi's Japanese voice actor voices Shuron the Wind Dragon in Legends. Yeah, that's it. I like Kakashi only because of his Japanese voice actor, voicing one of my favorite characters in anything. And with the fight itself, Oh, the episode itself. I think the animation is fine. It's just those few parts, like when Obi-Wan gets his lightsaber back, when he throws Kakashi down. Okay, yeah, the animation's fine overall. I had trouble believing it, but it's fine. The jokes in the fight, I think, were fine. The prequel jokes were. I like how they just kind of used the high ground and didn't make it really anything too jokey. I thought they were gonna make it like a serious thing, to be honest, and I'm glad they didn't. And I think it was used fine. Then they did it, then they said it again, and it just kind of bleh. The jokes aren't great. Fuck. What else can I really say about it? Again, the animation's great for the most part. There's only a few things I don't like. People get pissed off that Kakashi lost because, like, the Force. You gotta believe in the Force. It's a fucking Star Wars character. Didn't Luke do that in Luke versus Harry? Oh, no, I know that's a season 1 fight. We don't talk about season 1 here. That shit's god awful. I swear to God, there was another Star Wars character. Darth. Oh fuck. Anyways, I think the dialogue is actually fine. I think it's decent. The voice acting's good. Both characters sound. Both actors sound like the characters. The fight was paced well, and the choreography was pretty good in my opinion. And the choreography wasn't amazing, but it was fine. The reason why this isn't like in the top 3 or something is because I don't really like the music that much. The animation parts that do look silly just look way too stupid in my opinion. I swear to God there was one more thing. I don't remember what the other thing I didn't like about the fight was that made me not really care about it at all. But there was something. I guess it was the matchup itself, just doesn't seem interesting to me. I think the ending was good. Like, that final blow was really good in my opinion, or at least decently good. I guess the next 5 fights are either just me being biased towards a character or just me liking the fights, mainly because I don't remember what the next fights are. So that's something. But again, the music is meh. I think that's one reason why. The characters I don't think are interesting enough. I didn't really enjoy learning about the characters. It was the analysis. The analysis overall was what made me not really care too much about the episode in general. The fight was fine, but the analysis was kind of boring. Yeah, I think that's really it. I don't think a single person saw me putting this in my top 5. Cable versus Booster Gold. I liked learning about Cable. That was fun. Booster Gold just seems like a stupid character in the good way, like stupid funny. I basically I like the analysis at the very least. I like the fight too. Is the thing. I actually really like this episode, and it's a little bit of an anomaly for me. Why? I don't know. I don't know why I put it so high. I shouldn't have put it so high, and I know I'm gonna get fucking shit on for doing so. And again, maybe this is just a good episode. I think the dialogue is fine. Like, the banter between these two characters is actually really good, at least in my opinion. Just Booster Gold being an asshole and Cable just not giving literally any shits about this man. He just wants this guy to shut the fuck up, and I can understand that completely. I don't like how it's so one-sided. Like, it's obvious Booster Gold's gonna win, in my opinion, because come on. His force field literally doesn't even get broken at all. Like, Cable doesn't get a single hit on him. I mean, he does, technically, but, like, it doesn't do anything. I think the fight as well was at least a little bit funny. Like, Cable not getting hit very far by Booster Gold's, funny arm thing, doing the Zelda Breath of the Wild reference. Wasn't even the arm thing, he was just punching him. Cable had the arm thing. Cable as a character is also very interesting to me, and I think both voice actors sell these characters perfectly. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's because the quality of the fight, like, it's one of those fights where, to be honest, I think it has the least cringy voice acting and dialogue in any death battle. I think that's why that's probably the main reason I like it so much, is really just because it's probably the most enjoyable to watch out of a lot of them, especially with the voice acting. The music is, again, it's a middle-of-the-road track, in my opinion, but I like it. The ending was honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that they mentioned that it could do that, I would say it's a very creative way to use it. Then again, people, if they didn't mention it, then people would get mad and be like, well, how the fuck did he do that shit? I also don't understand why Cable didn't go through the multiverse, or it's like Booster Gold did and get him. That's, oh wait, no, he didn't even go through the multiverse. He went through time travel. Oh, that's why. Yeah, actually, that makes sense. I feel like Cable still could have gotten like some friendos from the past or future to help him, but I don't know. Then again, Booster Gold's tech is likely way more advanced. I think the fight's great. I think it's really fucking good. I don't think my opinions are very good, but I like the fight, and they're my opinions. So who the fuck cares at this point? I swear to God there was more. My brain is just shut off. It's late at night while I'm recording this. That's probably why these parts of the video are just not very good. Then again, most of the video is probably not very good. But I did actually have this as number 4, but the next fight I just liked generally more. It took me a little bit to actually figure out which one I liked more. And again, I'm going to be the only one that has this thing so high up. Like, everyone is going to have this thing really low. Up onto the other one. First of all, I know people are going to be like, wait, really? This? I don't know if this is a popular one or not. I think it's popular. I fucking love it. I love this thing when it came out, but rewatching it again, this one would have been like my number 1 or number 2, but watching it again, I've realized that the voice acting is really cringy, or at least the dialogue is. Jason sounds pretty much exactly like Jason should. Fuck, I can't say the words correctly. He sounds good. He sounds just like Jason Scott from the actual Power Rangers show. Leo, I've never watched TMNT, so I wouldn't know, but he doesn't sound right to me. He sounds really weird. It's really more of just the dialogue that's just kind of weird. The only part of the dialogue I think was fucking great, was when Leo said, like, oh, yes, I'm immortal. And Jason just pulls out a Glock and is just like, that's fucking bogus. Like, he pulls out a Glock, basically. Just goes like, that's bogus. Pulls out a Glock and starts shooting at this man, at this fucking turtle. And that's just one of my favorite moments of literally any death battle. That's just fucking amazingly funny to me. And, like, I think the jokes were decent in this episode, mainly in the analysis. Like, okay, I'm just a sucker for Boomstick singing literally anything. The Mortal Kombat theme, the Power Rangers theme, fucking anything. I'm just a sucker for it. I think the fight was... I'm not even sure what to say about the fight. I loved the animation of it. I loved the hand-drawn bits. Everything about this fight was just so good to me, though it did seem a little slow at times with when they started talking a bunch. And I'm not sure. I'm glad it's a Power Ranger win, and that may be hinting my bias a little bit, because multiple records were broken, like the TMNT streak and the Power Rangers losing streak. I'm just glad Jason won. The sprites are good. Jason looks great. Leo looks pretty good. The music is another one of my favorites. I think the ending is the weakest bit of it, just because, like, how the fuck did he get up there, and why did Leo do that? Leonardo would not have done that. From what I know, Leonardo would never do that. That's like a Raphael thing, or like a Michelangelo thing. I do like the finisher, though. That's some pretty good shit right there. And again, the entire fight is just really good, except for that one bit at the end. So yeah. I know what people are going to say to counteract this point. This episode is basically unwatchable if you don't know Red vs. Blue. And I don't have a counterpoint for that. Here's the thing, though. The reason why I love this fight so much, just the episode in general, is because I'm a massive Red vs. Blue fan. I've been wanting this for not a long time, but recently. Like about a couple years, I guess. I think this episode does encapsulate all these characters perfectly. Like, these characters all act exactly like they should. And I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But the main drawback and why this is so probably really low on a lot of people's lists, or at the very least right in the middle instead of near the top, is because as a death battle episode, it does feel like it's more suited for a red versus blue audience. Like, I've heard people say that Meta versus Carolina is an ad, which it's not. It's a crossover. It may look like one, but it's a crossover episode. This is an ad, but I don't mind it here because it would have been the Halloween episode instead of John versus Talbane, or Saberwolf versus Talbane, which would have been hilarious for this to be the thing posted at the end of October. That would be fucking amazing, but also horrible. I think the jokes are spot on for Red versus Blue fans. The jokes are the best part about this. This is the most entertaining one for a Red versus Blue fan. And I feel like even so, there are some good jokes in here that a non-Red versus Blue fan would still laugh at. The animation is fucking great in my opinion. I can't even tell if it's SFM or not, to be perfectly honest. I think it is just regular 3D. I don't like how multiple people just die within like seconds, but it's a Caboose team killing thing, and and I guess it did that so that the fight wouldn't be like 10 minutes long, so I can excuse that. The fight scene in the middle with like Tex fighting Sarge, that was good. The best part was definitely when Tucker was fighting Lopez. That was definitely the best part of the entire episode, because that was just badass. And the way he kills Lopez is... that's good. I fucking love Tucker. And speaking of the characters, I'm going to go over that real quick. Sarge sounds perfect. Everyone on the red team has their same voice actors, I think, which is fucking great. Sarge sounds just like I want him to, because, again, same voice actor, and acts like I want him to. He's great. Griff is an idiot, but his little grunts when he's getting hit sound really weird at times. It sounds like they had to make him more lazy than normal. Simmons barely got any time in the fight, which just kind of made me a little sad. I like Simmons. I mean, he's the worst character out of all of them, aside from maybe Donut. I don't know, I like him. But they didn't really use him very much, and that just kind of made me sad. He sounds right, though. Speaking of Donut, he sounds just as gay as ever, even though he has, like, one line. And he used Tucker's catchphrase, which is bullshit. Lopez is also great. Like, yeah, I would expect Lopez to be the heavy hitter. Like, he's literally the heavy. Yeah, because his name is Lopez the Heavy, as you can see in the subtitles. And I love they made him, they did a good voice for him. Again, it's the same person, I'm pretty sure. And then there's the blue team, who all sound not right, actually. That's another thing I actually genuinely don't like about this. Caboose didn't get the same voice actor, which is a tragedy. Like, Caboose is the best part of Red vs. Blue, and he's the best, and he's, like, one of the best parts about this fight. Slightly. Like, the beginning is great. I love the beginning of it. The whole fight I love, but the blue team's voice actors, I don't think they got the same actors. Like, definitely not for Caboose. I think Church sounds like himself for a couple lines, but that's really it. Tucker only sounds fine during the Lopez fight, and it was really only the one line that really stuck out. At the very beginning of the fight, everyone sounds completely off, and I don't like that. Sheila doesn't have any lines, which is fine, that's good. Tex doesn't have any lines, she doesn't really need any. But did they not get any of the same voice actors for the blue team? I just don't understand that. The red team also sounds great and acts great. The blue team does act like themselves and everything. I love Caboose's lines, and I love how Caboose kills, like, 4 people with 1 sniper bolt. Like, that's some trick shot amazing shit. The ending is a little weak, but I do like how Sarge goes bleh when he dies, and I don't know. It seems like how this kind of thing would end, so I'm not too mad. The joke about the flag being outside is just, it's great. I love this fight, but again, it's not accessible for non-Red vs. Blue fans. But as a Red vs. Blue fan, I think this is a great fucking fight. So I have it at number 3. Oh, I'm so happy we didn't get this in November. Oh, I'm so happy this happened. I want to address the main complaint I have with this right now. The fight seems like it's kind of a little one-sided for John. And the reason why is because it feels like he's fighting just a generic werewolf. I think it was weird. Okay, I think the problem with Saberwolf's sprite is that he's not like the cyan color that he actually is. He's pure gray, which isn't the Saberwolf color scheme. He's like a dark navy blue or cyan. And I guess Saber or John has that kind of thing, but you can tell them apart. Like, Jesus, it just looks like he's fighting a random fucking werewolf in the streets. Otherwise, though, I don't have any other problems with this fight at all. I think that's the only problem I have with the episode. The analysis was a little boring, but not like extremely so. I don't really mind it. The fight itself is great. The track is my favorite track in Death Battle ever. I am a pure death metal fanboy, as much as I am a Brandon Yates fanboy. And those two things coming together, I mean, it's not uncommon. Like, Brandon Yates is a metal artist, so, like, freaking, it's why I love Olympus Mons so much. Like, Jesus Christ, people. But yeah, the main complaint really is just it feels one-sided for John, and I know that means it should be lower, because that is a big problem, but it doesn't... On a rewatch, I had that little less of a problem there, because I like, it's really just that watching it with the analysis makes me realize it is Saberwolf. Watching it without the analysis makes me feel like it's just Hellbane versus a fucking random werewolf. It's really just like, either if you watch the entire episode, it makes more sense and feels like an actual fight. I think the dialogue is fine aside from the very beginning. I think John's like last words, the last words of the fight were both badass and a little funny because of whoever was acting for John. Their mic quality kind of sounded like my mic quality right now, a bit choppy. It sounded really weird, but I still love the line regardless. Also, the blood makes me happy. I liked seeing gore and animation and like this. Also, being choking with your entrails? Bruh. That's amazing. It's a werewolf fight. They also confirmed Dio versus Alucard pretty much in the episode, and that was cool. There's just one fight I like more, probably because I don't have really many major problems. It's that one major problem that keeps it from being number 1. In fact, it was number 3 originally, but then I found out more problems with Red versus Blue, and now we're right here. Also, the finisher is amazing. I love the ending of the fight so much. This fight is great. The music is the best part, though. And here we are, my favorite fight, or just episode in general, of Season 7. Really, it's the fight that makes this so amazing for me and how cataclysmic it really is.
It's unwise to vaporize
was definitely the way to kick off Part 2 of Season 7. This was worth the wait, in my opinion. I think that's one of the reasons why it's at number 1. Also, I would assume before Sergeant Beerus's voice and his jokes, oh god, I love him. I love this guy to death. Holy shit. The hand-drawn parts are good. The fight was actually pretty well paced. There was one thing I didn't like. There was the same line.
Ridiculous.
I think the banter between these two characters is probably the best part. Them talking to each other while fucking murdering everything.
Interesting.
Is
apparently.
It's great. I love the voice acting. I love the dialogue, except for like the final bits.
The hard way it is then.
Like some of the final bits were a little off to me, but I think the entire fight was just, it was great. It was extremely watchable, and I'm not sure what to say about that part. The music also is another of my favorite tracks. Probably like 9th or favorite track. I kind of want to do a video saying like ranking all of Brandon Yates' like commission stuff, and also at one point. But anyways, more on the fight. I think the animation looks so good. It looks great. The only problem is with Galaxia's sprite at times. Like, it feels like 1 or 2 times where it looked a little bit janky, but it was kind of minor in my eyes. I did. I kind of want to watch it. I want to watch Dragon Ball because of this. Like, I'm gonna watch Dragon Ball Super for sure.
Now look what you've done!
This is your fault, you stupid cat!
Again, every single episode always has its problems.
Hello there,
There's always a
stranger.
problem. There's
Welcome.
never a perfect and that's apparent. There
Kneel
are
for
problems
me.
here, but I don't know, it's my perspective. That's really what
Hello there, stranger.
Gotta try. Right. Let's see. So I'll say a couple more things about the analysis. Six saying there's a dick coming through the window. That was funny. There was a Chuck Norris will stick on a Sancho, which was probably like one of the top 5 favorites of two fights.
Hey! No fair!
I wish we'd get a sequel. That's fucking great in my eyes. Learning about Heroes and Galacticus is fucking great, and I love it. The matchup was unique. It introduced us.
You're no match.
And it makes me realize that
You lack the
concept and
instinct.
characters can actually be really
You're
fucking
trash!
overpowered.
You'll die like dirt!
And that scares me. It makes me sad for the future. The ending is great.
You're all
Friggin'
mine!
that final line from Geras is kind of funny, but also, I am the impossible. I don't know, that sounds badass. And I'm probably the only one
What?
who thinks that way.
That's impossible!
Now you're catching on.
The finisher is good. That laser beam, that slightly bigger laser beam.
I am
Thing
the
happens.
impossible.
Yes, yeah, I think the entire fight was just great. So,
That
yeah.
was for
That's my favorite
ice
Death Battle of
cream.
them all. And that's it for Season 7 of Death Battle. I can't wait for Season 8. I can't wait for Steven vs. Star, specifically. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments about it, and I will probably look at it. Please don't kill me for my opinions in this video. I'm not smart. And with this, I can finally watch the other Season 7 retrospectives, so I'm gonna go upload this now. And by now, I mean probably tomorrow. Goodbye, people.